Hey everybody, Cannon here from More Technologies. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to design parts in Onshape that can insert into end connectors. End connectors are one of the most common parts in the Moorebot ecosystem. The most basic functionality of them is to create a rail like this using 2 end connectors and 4 dowels. But you can take it further. You can snap end connectors onto other end connector rails and build bigger assemblies. You can also insert corners and lock them in with wooden dowels. And you can also lock the dowels in. In this video, we're going to be focusing on how to design things like the corner that insert into the end of this. And there's actually a lot of different parts that use this functionality, and it's arguably the second most useful thing to learn how to design for working with the Moorebot ecosystem. So here are the basic dimensions for the inserts. It's a rectangle that is 0.36 inches wide, 0.36 inches tall, and half an inch long. So let's go ahead and jump into Onshape. Let's start by making a top-down view. And for this video, we are going to make a corner, but one that's a little bit different of an angle. So let's start by sketching. We're going to create a sketch. Let's do it on the top plane. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is kind of figure out what the path of our corner is going to be. So I'm going to create a line, going to make it a construction, and I'm going to have it go straight this direction, and then I'm just going to exit off. And then I'm going to do that again, and I'm going to do it at some other angle here. So a normal corner would be that way, but there's already a corner, so let's do something different. So now I'm going to go ahead and hit the dimension tool and select some kind of angle between these two. Why don't we say like 130? So now that we've got that, let's design the end inserts. So basically, if I've got 2 of these on the end of my corner thing, it can insert into end connectors. So let's start by creating a line and just adding it off this. And I'm going to go ahead and hit mirror and mirror that line just so it's centered. So now if I drag this, it goes the same way. And if you remember in our dimensions, it's 0.36 inches wide. So let's just go ahead and make that 0.36 inches wide. So from here to here, we're going to say is 0.36 inches wide. Now we need to add the length part of it, which is half an inch. So I'm just going to hit L. I'm going to select this endpoint, and I'm going to come up and over. And I'm just going to extend this down. Now I'm going to select this point and that point and hit the coincident button. So now it's all one big rectangle. We're going to hit the dimension tool, select this line, and just type in 0.5. So now we have the basic shape. We want to go ahead and add in a hole in the top so that we can lock in whatever end connector we insert with a wooden dowel. To do that, you're just going to select the line, make it a construction line, and select the midpoint of the top line and the midpoint of the bottom line. Now we're going to select the circle, and you're going to hover over the center point of that line and just drag it out and click. Now I'm going to make this circle 0.2 inches in diameter, and we're good to go. So you notice these things are blue because we can still move the whole thing. We're going to fix that in 1 second. We're going to go ahead and make an angle for it. Okay, so now what we need to do is add in the end stops. So you notice there's these little rectangles right here. That's basically to keep it from inserting too far into the end connector. So you notice how it's got it here, and it just stops it at that perfect point. So for that, I'm going to select the corner-to-corner rectangle, and I'm just going to drag. And now I'm going to select the point button right here, highlight over the midpoint of this line, select that point, and select this line, hit coincident. So that means this is now centered and in the middle. And I'm going to go ahead and select this line and this line and say they're coincident. So that butts it up against each other. And I'm going to say that this is 0.1 inches wide. And I'm going to say we can look at our dimensions here for the exact. The thing about this part is it doesn't have to be exact. So as long as there is some line here, you're fine. And I'm going to go ahead and make this 0.1 as well. Okay, so now that's there. And all that's there to change is the length. So I'm going to select the dimension tool, and I'm going to say that this needs to be, let's call it 1 inch. away from the center. So now I need to get another one of these over in this direction. One way that you can do that is to redo this whole design, which can get kind of complicated. It can be a bit tough. So we're going to do something a little bit different. Here's what I'm going to do. Now stay with me. It's a little bit weird. I'm going to select line in construction, and I'm just going to put this line out here. Now, if this line was halfway between this line and this line, we could mirror this over this, right? So if we select the mirror line and then select this thing, it shows up there. But the issue is this line isn't exact. But if we just select this line and hit coincident, there we go. And I can go ahead and just drag this line right here to the very end because it doesn't really matter that much. And there you have it. So now you have these two end pieces, and I can change this angle. So I can make this 90, and it makes a square. I can make it 180. It makes it straight. I can make it 140, whatever you want. I'm going to go ahead and make it 135. So this is a 45-degree angle joint. And now we just need to add the components that go from right here to right here. To do that, there's a few different ways that you can do it. Kind of depends on how curvy you want it to be. I'm just going to go ahead and select the line and select this line right here and just go all the way to our line right there. And then I'm going to do the same right here, all the way to our line. And then I'm going to go ahead and mirror those two lines. Select that line, that one, and that one. And you notice there's a little bit of a distance right here. To solve that, we just hit line again and select that and that. And so there you have it. There is a corner. It's also adjustable, which is really nice. And so anytime you need a different angle, you can also change this length, then it'll adapt with it. So this is just one use case for designing in-connector inserts. This one's a little bit more complex than it had to be. But it's a good thing to learn. The main takeaway is that you can design this shape right here. So now that we've got this, I'm going to go ahead and hit the check mark. I'm going to click my extrude button right here. I'm going to select the sketch. And I'm going to type in 0.36. And there we go. That's an insert that will work. One thing I always advise is to kind of fillet your edges. It just makes it insert easier and makes for a better print overall. So we're just going to select the fillet button, and I'm going to select that edge, that edge, that edge, and we're going to type in 0.05 right here. Perfect. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same on these things right here, just to make it look a little bit better. You don't have to do that. It's functional without it. I just like to do it. So I'm going to select those two, select these, select these, and lastly, select these two. And I'm just going to type in 0.025, make it a little bit smaller, and hit the check mark. And there we go. This is a piece that you could insert and create a unique angle with the end connectors. So I hope that lesson was useful for you. If you want to 3D print this, just click on the part right here and click export. And make sure that the format says STL. And then you can rename that. And that'll export. So yeah, good luck. If you make something cool, please, please, please upload it to MakerPlace so that other people can use what you've created. And good luck. I can't wait to see what you make.